Top stories. Second cruise pair completed. Hospital administration denies oxygen rationing in Jamaica. And at least 10 dead in Macedonia COVID-19 hospital fire. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Thursday, September 9th, 2021. I am Mervyn Thompson. Nationally, the second cruise pair at Port Zante is completed and will be operationalized when the need arises. Tafida Stewart, acting Chief Executive Officer at the St. Christopher Air and Seaport Authority, gave the assurance on Wednesday during Working for You.
The second cruise pair has been completed. It has been completed in February, but we have essentially taken over the pier since December when we had vessels berthing there. The completion, we say completed in February because the contractor had some additional dredging which needed to be done, and that has been done. So essentially Pier 2 is ready and it's available for vessels to berth for the upcoming season and even as early as next month if necessary. But we do not have an influx of cruise vessels, so we'll be using the first cruise pier. The second cruise pier has been completed.
Noted that dredging work was undertaken by the contractor to allow for an added layer of protection for the larger Oasis-class vessels that frequently called on St. Kitts in the past.
We did ask the contractor to dredge down to 37 feet. In some areas they did 36 feet. While the Oasis class can berth safely at that level, SCASPO has to look out for its interests and potential liabilities. And should we have a drop in the levels, the ocean's level, it means, in our view, we do not have enough clearance.
Ms. Stewart added that there were several minor repairs to be carried out, but assured that they do not impact the capabilities of the pier in hosting the largest cruise vessels in the world. Meanwhile, the St. Christopher Air and Seaport Authority is celebrating its 28th anniversary this year, and with COVID-19 in mind, the establishment will keep mental health as part of the festivities. Tafida Stewart, who is the acting CEO, spoke of the inclusion of the seemingly taboo topic while on Working for You on Wednesday.
It was centered more around our staff members because we do understand that the pandemic has affected everyone and mental health is a serious issue. And whereas our staff would have been fully paid, we do understand that others in the household would have been severely impacted. The children would have been impacted. So we felt it's necessary to plan some activities around taking their minds away from the stresses of the pandemic.
The month will be littered with activities, Ms. Stewart said, all in compliance with COVID-19 protocols.
On the 10th, we do have karaoke, sing off with our staff members. Of course, we'll be complying with all the COVID-19 protocols. So not all 320 staff members would be there. We're going to just have a fraction of the staff members at that activity in compliance with the COVID-19 protocols. We also have a community uplift project. In the past, CASPO Sports Club would have collaborated with the Rotary Club of La Amiga to have some trees planted on the Bay Road. Some of those trees have died, so we're going to have a project with the sports club to replant those trees. We're going to have a nature walk or hike up to Sulphur Stone with a group of our staff members, and then we're going to close off the activities on the 30th of September with a virtual launch of our brand new redeveloped website.
While celebrating, the Ports Authority is also preparing for the reopening of the border next month. These include sanitization stations and staff training. And finally, on the local scene, the Charles A. Halbert Public Library joined with other institutions to commemorate International Literacy Day on Wednesday. Ms. Petrine Clark, librarian at the public library, said that the library offers numerous services that enable them to adequately and efficiently contribute to the enhancement of digital literacy amongst the population. The library offers services to assist students wishing to pursue academic studies in the United States of America. The Charles A. Halbert Public Library has been providing services to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis since 1982. We move now to the regional scene, and in Jamaica, the chairman of the Western Regional Health Authority is refuting claims of oxygen rationing at the Savannah Lamar Hospital due to rising COVID-19 deaths made in a viral voice note recently. CVM Live has the details of this story.
A viral voice note is painting a grim image of the handling of COVID-19 patients reportedly at the Savannah Lamar Hospital. The voice note claims that oxygen is being selectively distributed and being turned off at night. It also claims that health authorities want people to die. However, the chairman of the Western Regional Health Authority insists this is not true.
Very upsetting and disappointing, especially as you can imagine for the staff at the hospital to be branded with something as mischievous as this. So I just wanted to clear it up really on behalf of the team of Savlamar that no such action is happening at that hospital.
He questioned the veracity of the voice note, adding a name mentioned as a matron by the sender in the region was non-existent.
But if we listen to the voice note, it makes mention of a specific name of a matron. I work very closely with the Savlamar Hospital, and there is no matron at that hospital with that name, which makes me able to confirm that it's definitely not at the Savlamar Hospital. I've never heard of them turning off oxygen at night or any clinical person. I don't see the sense in that.
The situation in the Western region shows overworked nurses and a shortage of bed spaces, both of which he says are being addressed.
I've been going around and checking within the region. There are some pieces of medical equipment that we are trying to source that will make us better able to combat it. Some of them are very specialized pieces. We as a region at the Western region are doing everything we can to make sure our staff have the tools they need to do their job efficiently.
Beds are also being provided to the SAV hospitals as cases continue to climb. Janelle Powell, CVM Live.
The National Commission for Self-Help Limited in Trinidad and Tobago has assisted 200-plus families affected by adverse weather or habitat with grants amounting to over $3 million within the last month. Mahalia Joseph Wharton, TTT News, has more.
On Wednesday, $820,000 in grants were distributed to 52 homeowners in North Trinidad who were affected by adverse weather or who are in need of urgent repairs to their homes by the National Commission for Self-Help Limited. Minister of Sport and Community Development Shamfa Kujo said she's passionate about developing the country and empowering its people. At the distribution ceremony, the Commission also signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Habitat for Humanity (TT) to form a partnership to assist recipients with the necessary labour to rebuild or repair their homes.
As a Member of Parliament, I have seen far too often so many people who have access to the material or access to the funding to get the material, and you go by somebody's house next 6 months and the material is still in the yard.
National Director of Habitat TT, Jennifer Messiah, said the non-profit organization is elated to partner with the Commission.
This particular partnership is supposed to create resiliency in our communities. It's not just about your roof blown out and we give you a tarpaulin or we help you to put up your roof.
Habitat TT will assist applicants with labour costs associated with building or renovating their home after receiving a grant. They will also provide labour costs for qualifying applicants of the NCSHL with the average sum per person estimated at $20,000. Mahalia Joseph Wharton, TTT News.
And internationally, police and public health officials in North Macedonia say at least 10 people died and many others were injured in a fire at a makeshift hospital for COVID-19 patients. We hear more in this Euronews report.
At least 10 people have died in a violent fire after an explosion at a COVID-19 hospital in the Republic of North Macedonia. Firefighters were called to the blaze at around 9 o'clock in the evening local time. They took around 45 minutes to extinguish the flames. Several other people are injured and have been transported to hospitals in the capital. The temporary unit treating COVID patients was only built last year in the town of Tetovo. The Prime Minister immediately headed to the town. Recently, the country has seen a rise in coronavirus infections, with the daily death toll averaging 30. It's seen more than 6,000 deaths since the start of the pandemic, in a country which has a population of around 2 million. More than 180,000 North Macedonians have had the infection, according to Johns Hopkins University.
President Joseph Biden on Thursday will present a six-pronged strategy intended to fight the spread of the highly contagious Delta variant and increase U.S. COVID-19 vaccinations. France 24 has this report.
It was supposed to mark a turning point in the pandemic. Joe Biden's 4th of July party at the White House celebrated the nation's progress in stopping the spread of COVID-19. But with the arrival of the Delta variant, that progress is being reversed. This medical center in rural Texas is forced to keep patients it is not equipped to care for. Houston, with its top-tier hospitals, is only an hour's drive away, but patient transfers are virtually impossible because the state's hospitals are already full of people sick with COVID-19. One of the centre's patients survived 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan, but died of complications from gallstones as doctors didn't have the equipment to remove them.
Our staff and our physicians worked non-stop for over 6 hours trying to get him that transfer to a tertiary care center anywhere. We truly believe that if we would have got him out of here in the normal time frame, he would have got to the VA in Houston and he would have survived.
On average, 1,500 people are dying of COVID-19 every day in the US. The last time the figure was that high was in early March. Health officials say more and more of those who've died were young and in good health.
We've lost 4 healthy people in their 20s, 2 of whom were pregnant, 0 vaccinated. In the past 4 days, we've lost 10 people in their 30s. And these aren't people who are chronically ill.
Faced with the worsening situation, Biden is expected to lay out a plan to encourage more vaccination this Thursday, including further jab mandates for federal workers.
And now for the weather. Present weather is cloudy. Winds are southeast at 6 to 14 miles per hour with lighter spells overnight. Seas are not exceeding 1.5 meters or 5 feet. Today is expected to be partly sunny with cloudy spells and a 60% or a moderate chance of localized showers, while tonight will be mostly fair. Sunset today will be at 6:18 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow at 5:58 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Mervyn Thompson. Have a great day.